like an apocalypse going off behind me, so I'm going to try and move my angle. 1 second. Is that any better? No. 1 second. Hold on. After much faff, I just decided to close the curtains. Tell the fact that I'm doing this with my arms. Hello, and welcome to a video which is a little bit out of keeping with this channel, because it's not about gaming or making the videos revolving around gaming. It's about my other hobby, or one of my other hobbies, which is acting. Yes, I like to do the dramatics. Shouldn't make yourself laugh at these things. Sorry, let's get back to it. It's about acting. I like to act. I like to perform. I like to do the acting. I think I've said acting too many times now. I won't say it again. I promise. Acting. I like to perform. I like to do that sort of stuff. I've done different styles and places with loads of different people, most of whom are fantastic. I do have a channel as well about this, but enough plug on that. I'm just going to talk about one key part of it, which I've just gone through actually. So as in a few days ago, I had a script. I learned the script and I performed it to camera. And while it's fresh in my head, I thought I would just share my method or my thoughts on it. It may not turn into either of those, it may just turn into me inanely rambling at camera. But let's just see if I can keep this sensible, smart, informative. I've never been informative in my life. I don't know how to do this. So I'm going to go through the process of making a video recording to camera, or in my case phone. And that consists of these 3 main steps, which is, part 1, have a script. I'm sure I could insert some sarcastic comment about how that seems to be fucking obvious. Yeah, because it's always best to have the physical item that you can refer back to. A, if you want to create a link to it in your video comments, if that's indeed how you share your readings and all that sort of stuff. Or, if you want to be able to keep consistent, have something to refer back to, have something to expand upon. It's always great to have a script, and I'll put some links in the description of different places to pull good scripts from. Some of which, my leg is cramping up. Some of which are just excerpts from films or TV shows, that sort of stuff. Or stuff that people have written themselves, because there are some really talented writers out there who just aren't publicised, and it's a good way to get their work read and announced and performed. Yeah, I'll put those in the description if you want to read them, if you're interested in that sort of thing. And if you're not, feel free to not go to the link. Part 2, learn the script. Yeah, learning the script is it's crucial, really. Because if we went to the cinemas and every actor on the screen had a piece of paper strapped to their face, I'm pretty sure we can all agree it would rather take away from the scene. So yeah, learn the script. Now this part is really the bit where I should go into a bit of detail on how to learn the script. And that is, there are thousands of different ways to learn something, really. If you listen to something often enough, you eventually learn it. It's a bit like a song, you know, if you hear a song 1,000 times, you eventually find yourself singing the song. It's a very similar, I think. So record yourself reading it and then memorize it from there. My method is a bit like flashcards. I read the first line, I memorize the first line. If I balls up the first line, I restart it and do it again from beginning to end. Once I've got the first line, I learn the second line. Learn the second line. So I would read the first line from beginning to end, and then start doing the second line. If I balls up any point in those 2 lines, I go back to the beginning and do it again. And the same for the third line. Learn the third line. Oh god, the thing that's actually holding my camera up is starting to slowly slip down. If I suddenly go woof and the camera disappears, I do apologise. That's how I learn scripts. That's how I do it. I memorise it line by line and just go through on almost an infinite amount of loops until I've got it nailed. Another good way of doing it is to have somebody read it with you, like a table reading for a big rehearsal or something like that. It's a method of doing it. It's just also meaning you have to rely on other people, and sometimes that's not the best thing to do. There are sites where you can actually go to where people do readings with you, and I think that some of them are paid, some of them aren't. But if you want to try that, yeah, give it a crack. Step 3, performing to camera. I'm gonna say this is probably part 1 and part 2 because there's this. Why can't I just get this right? Where was I? Setup, and then there's the actual performance. Setup is something that is reasonably generic in instruction. have a steady place to put the camera, which I don't, have a plain background, which I don't, and then have good lighting, which I don't. So it's all spot on for me so far. Right, okay, that's phase one. Have a nice background, have good lighting, have good sound. If you struggle in any of those parts, you just have to make do and do the best you can with it. And the second part is the actual performance itself. Perform to the camera. If you're recording on your own a dialogue where there's two people doing it, I would recommend recording yourself doing the script lines that you're replying to. Because there's nothing worse than saying a line and waiting for somebody else to reply who doesn't exist and just pretending that they do. Because A, when somebody who's watching the video, nothing happens in that thing, it's just you go, and it doesn't look great, it loses its effect. The best thing I could say, if you're recording by yourself, which most of the time I am, is record yourself doing the other lines, not like this, but in some sort of audio, and giving a decent pause between each bit to allow you to perform. And then just measure it out and get the recording so you have time to reply and respond. Or just have your foot on a press play button somehow. That's secrets revealed here. I record myself on a separate thing that I can just stamp on every now and then to get the other line said. I then press pause and then perform again. It's a bit messy, but it works for me. A lot of people say have somebody behind the camera to work with, which is really good because the to and fro in delivery is always really crucial. You have to be able to respond to the other parts of dialogue that you're not going to do. The second part of the main recording is the first few times you do it, a majority will be crap. And listening back to it will definitely give you an idea of the lines that work, the lines that you're delivering that do work, the lines that you're delivering that aren't working, and how to change them. And then you go over it a few more times, and obviously practice makes perfect, and you get better and better and better. That was a mess of a sentence, but I'm sure you get what I mean. I'm doing this with my hands like it's some sort of natural flow. Perfect. Yes, it may mean that you feel like you're on loop a few times, but you do get better. It does get better. It does take repetition to get right. It does take time. If some people can nail it in 7 or 8 takes, and I call bollocks on that, but it's the best thing to do. 38 takes. 38 takes it took to do about 12 lines. It's embarrassing. But yeah, once you're happy with the video, you're happy with the video. It's that simple. What we do here is go back. This video is only going to be, what, 20 minutes long, tops? And I've taken so many edits of it. I've had to restart several times due to the fact that at one point my chair collapsed. Stuff you just don't have handle over. But yeah, that's how I do it. And then when you upload the video, make sure you don't send the video file as that dated and timed format. Name it your name, script, or reading, and then maybe try and say what you're reading, because it's never great when they have to look at date and time. It doesn't look very good. And make sure you send it to the right people or upload it into the right places, and give it the correct descriptions and links, because I don't know why, everything has to be prim and proper. It just does. I think it's because everybody else is so much neater than me that I've learned this the hard way. People have got in touch with me and said, why is your shit such a mess? I'm like, I try, I really do. But no, yeah. That's really it. That's really it. So, yeah. That was my approach to making a screen reading, a recording to phone by a script. I hope it was informative, and I hope you enjoyed it, because God knows that I found it difficult as hell to do. And now on to... I'll take this day sponsored, but I don't get sponsored by fucking anybody. So, if you can't make somebody laugh, make yourself laugh. Yes, I hope my ramblings, was ramblings in most cases, were somewhat informative. And now on to the end of the video. I hope you had fun, and good day, stay safe, and all that good stuff. Doodles.